Howdy all, hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I've done a video. I've actually spent the last couple of nights doing videos, but you know how it is. I try and take a 10-minute video and try and cover it, but there's so much detail that needs to be, so many stones need unturning that it ends up taking me over half an hour. And I get that with trying to retain your guys' attention is somewhat of a challenge anyway, it would seem, at least according to the algorithms when I check up on YouTube Studio. I haven't checked recently, but whatever. Anyway, this video. So summer is upon us across most of the world, unless you're in upside down land, and by that I mean southern hemisphere, and whereas you'll be going through like a winter. Or yeah, something like that. Anyway, now one of the things that I really don't think I've spoken about a great deal is this thing of exes, right? When they approach you and they've magically changed, right? Yeah, you maybe you had a relationship with them and you spent a couple of years or whatever together, and all of a sudden they're a changed person and they want to come back to you and they want to put on this facade of this new person that they are and all of this. Well, I've got I have a very strict no exes policy. It's quite simple. A lot of you will understand this anyway. It's like, to look at it from a personal perspective, right? If I wasn't good enough back then for that person to want to be in my life, maybe they wanted to go and do other things, whatever it was, right? If I wasn't good enough for them then, what makes them think that they're good enough for me now, right? Now, that's without going into bad breakups, right? Whereas the other person, potentially might have cheated, or they might have treated you not as well as what you deserve. Now that's subject to opinion as well. But yeah, so after a time, and it's like they want to come back and make things great again, and it's like, no. How about you take your little ideas and fuck off? How about that, right? If you didn't want me, as the saying goes, if you didn't want me in your prime, why should I want you in your decline? Yeah, now that, because there's, truth be told, there's all sorts of reasons as to why exes do this kind of thing. Sometimes it's because they want to feel a bit better about themselves. Maybe they try to get it on with another guy. It didn't work out for whatever reason. Maybe the guy was a bit of a player, or maybe he just saw through their bullshit and decided, you know what, fuck this, he's out. So, they tend to get a little bit, excuse the expression, desperate. And so if they think they can sweet talk you around a situation, especially like bad breakups, man, it's like, what the hell? Like, seriously, you think you can treat someone a certain way and then you can just rock up maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years later as if nothing had happened? This is that common female trait where they conveniently forget, right? They conveniently forget the shit that they did in a relationship, whatever it was, whether it was treating you bad, cheating on you, whatever, right? Doesn't matter, right? That's all written off. Oh yeah, let's water under the bridge, bygones be bygones, let sleeping dogs lie, and all that shit. It's like, no. How about you wake the dog up and fuck off and take it for a walk and leave me the fuck alone? How about that, right? And the exact same applies to, and this some people think I'm a bit harsh, but it's like, no, if I gave someone an opportunity for me to take them out on a date and they turned me down for that, don't even think about fucking coming back this way, man. So you turn me down. What, you thought you could do better? Off you fuck. Off you go then. Go and do better with someone else. Oh, you can't find someone? That's a you problem, not a me problem, right? Unfortunately, a lot of guys, like I say, in this warmer climate, should we say, no, actually we don't have climate, we have weather. Right? We have weather, this is the thing. this country we have weather. What's the weather doing? We don't have climate. Climate's for everyone else. Climate's what you have in your car. It says AC, air conditioning, also known as climate control. God, this could go down all sorts of avenues, but let's not go there. So, needless to say, the women tend to be wearing a little bit less. They tend to be wearing clothes that are somewhat more provocative than obviously in the winter time, where they're a bit more wrapped up, where it's a thing. Doesn't apply to every chick out there, I'm just saying. But again, this whole thing of like, well, if you've offered to date someone and they've like flat out turned you down, why would you want to invite that back? It's like, and there's all sorts that you could say about that. It's like, alright, okay, so now that you've been ran through like a fucking steam train, now you're worn out and no good and leaking from all orifices, now you want to come back? Get the fuck, no. I don't think so, right? I don't fucking think so. Nah. Unfortunately, a lot of guys, like I say, when it comes down to emotions and shit like that, they get a little bit lonely and a little bit desperate. And sadly, some tend to overlook all these things. Now, with me, it's usually in the forefront of my mind, right? This is why I've just got a strict no policy. Just no to exes and no to chicks that turn me down. It's like, no. Just flat out fucking no, right? You could say maybe I'm a bit of an arsehole. It's like, well, am I though? Like, you know, this comes down to self-respect, man. It's like, why should you? Why should you? Someone that, you know, you were obviously interested in, or you were interested in enough to be in a relationship, or interested enough to want to go out and date and get to know them better. And then they want to go out and find themselves. It's like, yeah, you ain't going to find yourself. I'm not even going to go there. But it's just it. You know, this is about having self-worth here. This is like, now look, if maybe you are the type of guy to do that. And it's like, would I look down upon that? Yeah. Yeah, because you just demonstrate, not only to yourself, and you can make up whatever bullshit story helps you fucking sleep at night, rather than facing the reality of this. But it's like, look, these were people that you were not good enough for at a certain point. And this whole idea of them, air quotes, reinventing themselves, no. People don't really change a great deal. Now, in some cases, it might even be a case of, well, maybe they've hit the wall, right? Maybe their looks aren't what they used to be. So picking up the type of guys they're used to might not be an option for them anymore. Again, comes down to them settling. And especially if they're settling for an ex, if you think they're not going to hold that shit against you in some way, shape or form, you are sorely mistaken. They will. Because you're not their first option. You weren't their first option. If you were dating them, then they ghosted you. You weren't a first option. You know, they were someone else. They thought they could do better, like I said. Open a door for them, make sure it's nice and wide, and make sure they're heading away from you, right? You want that shit out. You don't want that shit in your life. Why would you subscribe to that bullshit, man? Like, what the fuck? Man, there's so many people out there that need role models. This, oh yeah, I'm having, you know, it's the most common thing, right, with that, just as an aside, right? When a woman is, air quotes, finding herself, right, they're not finding themselves. The only place they're finding themselves a lot of the time is in someone else's bed. I'm just saying, right? So, if you think that they're going to reinvent themselves and be someone that's different to who you knew, you're wrong. Because it's always going to be a matter of time. And like I said, they're going to be looking down on you in a way because you weren't their first option. And unless you blue pill the living daylights out of yourself, you're gonna know that that's the case. What, you weren't good enough before, but now you are. Now that they can't pull the type of guy that they used to pull him previously before the wall or whatever, but now they can come back to you and you can protect and provide for them and support them in all their stupid, ridiculous mistakes that they've made throughout their fucking life. All of a sudden, that's your fucking burden. Gentlemen, I seriously don't think so. This is why we say no to exes. I just don't understand what is wrong with people. What? What gives them the fucking nerve to think, you know? It's like, what the fuck? But seriously, think about what you're doing. Like, honestly. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. I'm going to probably make another one over the weekend because it might have to be an half an hour one. I don't think there's much... Because it's so in depth. And it is to do with... this is mostly about guys actually, right? But women are just as guilty, and I think it is a thing. But we'll see how that one goes. Anyway, thoughts, comments, opinions on this one, feel free to jot them down as always, and until the next one, stay cool, stay free, peace out.